We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. Cause it's bad boy. Hey, look, straight from the Harlem streets. I don't play your pussy down with the Harlem Heat. All right, fam. It's your boys back. Vegas Eagle. We're on the cusp of the 2024 campaign. I got new gear. My 1-year-old daughter got me this for Father's Day. It's probably the best Father's Day present that's ever been given by anybody to anybody. In case you want to get one of your own, the website is Noggin Boss, Noggin Boss.com. They got good swag there. I also got my Boathouse Row shirt on. We're ready. We got the 2024 campaign on the horizon. And we're going to go through each game right now. I'm going to give you my picks for the season and how we're going to do overall once we get to the playoffs. And let's fire it up. I'm ready. All right. First game of the year, the Packers. It's technically a home game, but it's in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which I'm a little pissed off about that taking a home game away from us. I really don't know what to expect from this game, except I believe it's going to be low scoring. I think these early week games, especially when you're going so far away, I think you're going to have a very low scoring game in a lot of these week one games, including this one. I'm going to skip it for right now because I do think it's the most important and least predictable game out of the entire schedule. I think it'll be very close, and I think it'll be low scoring. So I'm going to come back to it. So we'll go to week 2. Falcons in Philadelphia, the first true home game of the year. Kirk Cousins at the Link Monday night. Forget about it. W. All right. Week 3. We go to New Orleans. Now, tough place to play. They got Derek Carr. I'm pegging this as the Eagles kind of one of those road games that just goes haywire in the Superdome, and I actually think this one is going to end up being a loss. I think Derek Carr, by the way, is not a terrible quarterback. I think he puts up numbers. I know he hasn't had a great career, but I think he's a better quarterback than people might think. So I'm giving that one as an L for us. Next game at Tampa Bay. This will be all Eagles fans. I know we lost that playoff game when the whole season was spiraling out of control last year, but we won pretty handily there in the regular season as well. I think you're going to get more of that than the playoff game. I think we go down there, avenge the playoff loss, and I think this is a W. Also, your boy's going to be there in Tampa. I have never been to Tampa, and I'm heading to Tampa for that game. W. Okay, then we roll into the bye week, and we get our rest. It's actually not a terrible time for a bye. I know it's kind of early in the season, but I do think out of this stretch, especially coming after Brazil, and then basically three of your first games, 3 of the first 4 games are not in Philadelphia, with obviously one being so far away in Brazil. Okay, so we come out of the bye week, and it's the Browns at home. Deshaun Watson stinks. I think he's a terrible quarterback. I think he's not going to show anything for the Browns. I'm unimpressed by them. I think they have a great running game. I'm not even sure if Nick Chubb's going to be back for this one. I think he's on PUP, so I guess he could feasibly come back for that game. But I'm going to say Eagles win. Deshaun Watson's not coming into Philadelphia and getting a W. Okay, October 20th, then we hit the road for our first division road game. It's against the Giants. Thankfully, they suck. W. All right, then the next one, we got at Cincinnati. This is the toughest game of the year as far as I'm concerned. Joe Burrow on the road. This really has the makings of the game of the year type situation. End of October. I'm actually heading to Cincinnati for this one as well. I think this is probably going to be a loss, though. I think this really is a very, very tough spot, and I think the Bengals are going to be really good. Um, I think Joe Burrow might be top quarterback in the game if I had to choose one right this second. So we'll see. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, I should say. So I'm going to give this one an L. This is the toughest game of the year. All right, then we come home for the Jaguars Sunday night. We welcome back Doug Peterson. I think coming off the loss from Cincinnati, is Trevor Lawrence coming into Philadelphia and winning a game in prime time against the Eagles? No. I think this is a comfortable win. This is like a 31-17 Birds win. Okay. Then I think the next two games we split. We're going to have one division loss. We're not going to go 6-0 in the division. So I think we're either going to win in Dallas, and then we're going to have the letdown game at home against the Racists on a Thursday night, short week after playing in Dallas, or we're going to lose in Dallas and then come home and then beat the Racists on the Thursday night. So I'm just going to say we seem to split with Dallas every year, so I'm going to err on the side of losing in Dallas and then beating the Racists. Okay. Then 10 days after we played the Racists, because that's a Thursday night, we have a Sunday nighter in Los Angeles against the Rams. Rams are, I think, a sneaky, very good team. I think Stafford, if he's healthy, they are a threat. But I think the edge here is that this is going to be a glorified home game for the Eagles. We always invade Los Angeles. I really don't. I can't foresee the Eagles losing to the Rams there. Again, it's just going to be. It's going to be like 50% Eagles fans, half and half. I mean, you could even conceivably have more Eagles fans there than Rams fans. So I'm going to give that one a W for the Birds. Also, I'm going to be there, so that's another win. Okay, then probably the second toughest game of the year at the Ravens. I don't like the spot at all. We just played across the country in LA against the Rams, and now you're coming back and playing another home game against the Ravens on the road. Obviously, it's a there'll be a lot of Eagles fans there because of distance is so close. But I do think the Ravens have a pretty good home crowd, and I think Ravens take this one, and that's a tough game for the Eagles, when especially coming off the Rams game. Okay, Panthers, they fucking suck. Steelers, Russell Wilson. I don't care who's on them; they're not coming into Philadelphia and winning. That's a freaking win. All right, at the Racists, they're going to be out of it. This is December 22nd. There's going to be no racist fans there. They're all going to give up. Their team sucks. That's happened pretty often where we play the racists in DC late in the season, where it is literally, I mean, almost 80% Eagles fans there, and because the fans have just given up. So that's going to be a glorified home game win. Dallas home. Um, Again, they're not beating us twice. I love the Birds. The Cowboys, by the way, are spiraling this year. They're going to be 8-9, something like that. They're going to miss the playoffs. Just putting that out there. All right. And then last game of the year, Giants. They fucking suck. Okay, so that bit gives us a grand total of four losses. Um, and so then we go back to the Green Bay game. I If this game was in Philadelphia, it's a win. If the game is in Green Bay, it's a loss. In this bizarro Sao Paulo Brazil game, I gotta hope. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Packers fans there too. It is going to be like a 50-50 split, probably, as far as attendance of fans. So I don't know what to expect here. I just expect a low scoring game. But I do think this game, with us having four losses, 13-4, if we win. If you slip and you go to 12-5, is that good enough for the one seed? Probably not. So I think I'm gonna give a Jake Elliott 48-yard field goal at the gun for the Eagles to beat the Packers in Sao Paulo. We're gonna call it 19-17 Birds. Low scoring affair, which gets us to 13-4. Now, 13-4, you might think, oh, well, that's on the cusp of getting the one seed. But here's why I'm optimistic about the one seed. I think you're not going to get the one seed from the NFC South. I think that's a garbage division. So then you look at the NFC North and the NFC West. I think those two divisions are significantly better than the NFC East or South. So I think we run away with the NFC East easily this year. I think the Giants obviously suck. Washington sucks, and the Cowboys are spiraling out of control. Again, I think they're going to be right around 500. Um, so then you look at, okay, can the Eagles have a better record than the NFC West winner and the NFC North winner? I'm hoping that the NFC North beats up on each other because I think Chicago could be a lot better than people may think with Williams. I think he could be the truth. Then you have the Packers, obviously. You have the Lions, who are very good, and the Vikings could be bottom of the barrel. Since they have injuries now at quarterback already, their guy is out for the season. So they're down to Sam Darnold, I think. So the Vikings are going to be terrible, but I think the other three could beat up on each other. And then you turn to the West: Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to be much improved. You have Seattle, who is a tough out on all these division games, and actually overall a pretty good team. And then you have the Niners and the Rams, both of which are really, really good. So what I'm hoping for is that they sort of eat each other. And by cannibalizing each other, they accumulate losses amongst each other in the division, in the West and in the North, especially the West. So that's why I'm hopeful that the 13-4 record could be good enough to get us the one seed because I do think it just changes the complexion of everything if you get the bye and you get home field throughout. And I did a deep dive since 1990, which is when the NFL went to six seeds and two bye weeks, or two teams getting byes. And then now, of course, we only have one for the last few years. But since that point, if you get the number one seed, you have a 51% chance of getting to the Super Bowl. And the next highest, when you go down to the number two seed, it falls to about, I think it's like 24%. So you are really putting yourself in a great spot if you can get that top seed. It doesn't guarantee it, obviously, but I do think for the Eagles, I think getting that one seed is super critical. And we saw it a couple of years ago when we had home field. I mean, we whitewashed the Giants and the 49ers at home. And so I like our chances if we can get the one seed. And I think 13-4 could be good enough to get the one seed. And I'll say it is good enough. So if we get that 13th win against Green Bay, I think we get the one seed. That's my predictions. So I got losses to at the Saints, at Cincinnati, at the Ravens, and then either at home against the Racists or at Dallas. So there you go. I'll see you for the season, and I'll be at the Browns game, I'll be at the Buccaneers game, I'll be at the Bengals game, and I'll be at the Rams game. So that's my picks for the season. I hope to enjoy it, and I'm thankful the NFL is back. And I'm thankful for this Noggin Boss hat from my daughter, JoJo B. All right. Go Birds, everybody.